Hello everyone, let's get the ball rolling here. I'm Dan, that's Jake.
Hello.
This is Lewis.
Hi.
And this is the person who we actually announced as being the guest, Eric.
Hey! No.
No. See.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might just cut Eric off. I'm sorry, Eric.
It's all good.
It's because of how uncool you are, Eric. I didn't want you to ruin their show.
It's you know, you didn't get a cheeseburger. You are upset.
Okay. I hate you. How could you have cheeseburgers without me? You deliberately waited for me to go away and then you had cheeseburgers.
Kind of happened.
In fairness to Eric, they were delicious.
I cried a bit.
Yeah.
Do you
You're
feel
still
guilty?
crying.
I am still. There's tears streaming down my face.
Crying.
Okay, so let's get on with this lovely show. Hello Lewis, you've been here before. What do you do?
I'd like to sort of start by saying it's cozy. It's nice to be back because I remember this place and I remember the settee and the fireplace and it's cozy.
The fireplace does add more of a homely feel to everything.
Yeah, it really adds to the atmosphere.
Have you used the executive bathroom yet? We've done some remodeling since you've been on.
I have not seen
we've added a toilet this time. Instead of the kind of buckets that was there before.
Well, no, we just had people go in the sink, which was, let's be honest, a bit embarrassing.
But to be fair, it was a very plush sink.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. I mean, we don't
was
have
it
much
Sean
care
and
for our
Ty
guests,
that used
but we do
the
have
sink?
some care at the very least.
I imagine it was Ty, wasn't it? Because Ty's just got no manners.
Yeah, why not?
That's what they do in Manchester. It's just natural to them. He can't help it. But yes, I'm back. It's fun. I'm glad to be back.
Does this sound better?
Yes.
Very much so.
Okay, good. So I'll keep this distance.
So Lewis, go sit in the corner for a little while. Eric, talk.
Bye,
What is it that you do?
I'll just
I didn't actually just take a phone call. I was writing all of my notes down to answer you. No, who the hell am I? First question, who the hell cares who I am? I am a co-admin of Sodor Island Forums. I've been co-admin there since 2003, 2004. I don't know how I got that title, not sure. I set up a fan fiction thing, like a thread, so people could write their own stories. I've kind of done videos, so I did like the Nitpicks video, the first like big Nitpicks video back in 2002 or 3 or 4, and then made another one in 06, and then kind of half-assed one in 2011. I've tried to do a couple of trains, shorts, and some productions which really haven't come to fruition yet, but it's still on the back burner. And I do reviews for the newer seasons, and I've written one of these novels for the books for the ERS last year. So, and that's kind of my whole place.
So you've been there for the better part of 10 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's pretty impressive. Oh, and Dan's died. Cool beans. So, as somebody, I guess myself personally, who's never been on the forums side, sort of the forums at the very least, what sorts of changes have you either implemented or seen implemented over the last 10 years? How has Soda Island forums and fan site evolved in the time that you've been there?
It's definitely evolved in the sense of there's been a lot more members. It's a lot more chilled now. We have a lot of people on the staff. I have a really good staff on the board. Everyone works together. It's great. We have, like I said, we have that fan fiction thing, which we didn't have really in the beginning, and it's really grown, and a lot of people have been doing their videos and their music and posting images and drawings and all of this creative material. They try to share it there, and it's really almost like a hub of just like a fandom. It's just the hub I consider it the hub of the fandom. I think that it's sort of the center of everything, and everyone branches off from it and does their own things, which is great.
Yeah.
This is its own thing. So I mean, that's kind of been the biggest change. It's been consistent in terms of just quality members, just really awesome people. So I mean, you take the good, you take the bad. There are some conflicts from time to time, but we always bounce back. And I honestly don't understand half the conflicts half the time.
Well, yeah. When you look at the age of the fan base, sometimes those things are a little easier to understand by just saying, "Oh, it's an argument that's done by a 12-year-old."
That we have arguments with literal 12-year-olds.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not healthy and it's not fun. But we always find a way to bounce back and we persevere. And it's just it's been great.
Yeah, which is exactly what you want to strive for, to overcome all that conflict and serve the purpose of what you've been trying to establish.
Absolutely.
Now, you're also not only a moderator for that forum, but you are also a moderator for the Soda Island 3D forum as well.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I did neglect to write that one down.
Yes.
I sort of joined on with SI3D way back in, I guess it was 2009. It was on a project that I really wanted to start, and I saw these guys, and I was hoping to maybe, try to get them to help me get these things built so I could make these things in trains. Mm-hmm. But I tried to do it a very, very tasteful way, and I always tried to offer help, and I really wanted to pull my own weight in anything with model making. So you trade off.
Basically, you sent Richard or Sean a personal message saying, "Hey, make me models." Basically, that was you, right?
It was in so many ways like a translation of that. Yeah. Somehow I was able to snow him, either of them, snow them both, and it just sort of that whole relationship of give me and I want to take and oh, that sounds really bad out of context. Yeah. That whole relationship of just asking for material, it sort of faded. It faded away into this really big collaborative thing of, here, you build this and I'll try to help you with this. And if you need anything, reference, you need faces, you need textures, like I will do everything I can to help you. And that's sort of been the mentality I've had in the last few years, maybe the better part of 10 years.
Hello! Sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I have family over, and they want to join in, apparently. We'll see what happens later on in the show. It could be a surprise fun feature that we add in for the benefit of myself.
Well, guest starring the Long Clan. What fun.
Yes.
The Long Clan.
The Long Clan.
It was super long.
So Eric, then going kind of off of that as well. So since you're involved with both forums, maybe you could compare them and just kind of allude to what some problems are, what the relationship between the people who use them are, something like that maybe.
So wait, rephrase that.
Which of the two are much more, I guess, I don't know. Which do you? I mean, obviously you've had much more of an investment in SIF, but
right.
But which one would you say has been more, I guess, accepting maybe of you, or have you noticed are just generally more friendly?
As far as accepting of me, I mean, this is a loaded question, but I mean, I can tell you that on both levels, my own personal relationship with both forums has been nothing less than awesome. It's just like everyone I've talked to, either if I'm helping them or just giving advice, or if they're giving me advice back, I have no drama. I've never had any drama on any of the forums, and I think that's a really good thing. And I refuse to have drama, and that's just my mentality. It's not my jam. I don't have it.
Yeah.
So I try to go into things with a very level head and very, very just chill and hang out and just, we're all united by this one thing that we all enjoy. Don't be, bad to each other. So, I mean, as far as both forums, I think they're different in terms of SIF is really a place that you go to reflect. You want to talk about your favorite show and why you really love this show. and you want to contribute your own content in terms of maybe a picture or something, or you want to just have a discussion about a narrator or share your opinion. You go to SI3D because you are into modeling. It's really, you're into the media side as you know, the media side and the building of 3D models and interest in the train software or the Railworks software, and you go there, and people just there too are, you know, sometimes you get people that try to just do the gimme thing. And when they do that, they're very easy to spot. Very easy. Not in my case. I somehow snowballed all of them. But you know, everyone is really good on both forums. Everyone's just really just chill. Some people more so than others, but you know, you try to lead by example.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you heard it here first, folks. So if you have any questions, or if Sean's not producing enough models, you can send your questions or concerns to Sirami at SI3D.
And I will put in the request in a very slow burning period.
Yes, very good. Now you're also well, now you're Sirami, but you were for a very long time Cookie Monster for Sale on YouTube. Maybe you can talk about some of your, and I know you haven't done any filming for a little while, but maybe you'd like to talk about some of your past projects, filming in trains. You had a couple of ambitious trailers, I think, and some very interesting short videos.
Yeah, I do enjoy making them. I think, yes, some of these projects are a little ambitious in terms of sometimes there's just not enough content to get something going, and I'm sort of a perfectionist. I don't like to settle for crappy product. I need it to be like 100% like good, and you know, if I have to learn more stuff from it, you know, so much the better. I've definitely Cookie Monster for Sale. I don't even know where the hell I came up with that. I think it was Google and YouTube merged, and I got stuck with having these two accounts just fused into one. It was like something from, I don't know, The Thing. not the new one, not the remake, but the old one.
Yeah.
But you know, these things are still ongoing. I'm doing Gordon Goes Foreign. It's something that people have built models for, and they've committed so much time to it, and I need to push through. It's just that life gets in the way. You know,
it was fun building the models.
What's that?
It was fun though.
Yeah, but you know, that has to pay off. That absolutely has to pay off, and I need to push through with that. And I'll still be doing this when I'm old. I don't know. It's fun. It's a good stress relief, and it's a good way to be creative. It's my outlet for, you know, just stress relief and just having fun and making something worthwhile that people will enjoy.
To that. It's like faking models for something like that when you know it's going to be that, but it's like the amount of effort Eric puts into these things is like, you know, it's going to be worth seeing the model in the thing at the end.
Yeah,
it's going to be a quality product, exactly. And I think at least all of us here in this chat, and probably most of the people watching, can sympathize too, just because we all make things, be it videos, models, roots, anything.
Music.
We can all sympathize with real life getting in the way, and these things take time. And I think a lot of maybe the more junior members of our community don't understand that sometimes, that we all go out and we can function in real life, and we have lives and jobs and families.
Speak for yourself.
Well, Dan, I mean, just last week
I
you
live
found
in
out
this
that
basement,
the island of Soda wasn't
never
actually
leaving.
a real thing.
Yet again, speak for yourself.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I think everyone's life just catches up with them at some point. I think you know, you go through periods, just sort of like, it's like a wave where you crest and you're really busy, and then you trough and you just have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. And you know, it happens to everyone, and it happens in wave. Well, I'm going to use waves again. It just happens really differently for everybody. You know, you'd ask me 2 years ago what I was doing. I was just doing nothing, and I had all of this time to work on scripts and make shorts and things. And now a year later, you know, 2 years later, it's just like, all over the place. Work, dating, jobs, gym, activities, Tough Mudders, just crazy stuff.
Do you do Tough Mudder? I knew a guy who
Yeah.
did that once.
I
Seemed
just
like
did
a
it.
lot of fun.
I did one on June 1st. It was awesome. It was a great time.
Yeah, it's really challenging, but it's a big payoff. You feel really good after it, huh?
Oh, absolutely. You're sore for a week. You cannot move a muscle. You just
They push you. They push you so damn hard.
yeah. 12 miles is a pain in the ass.
For maybe some people who don't know, Tough Mudder is an obstacle course or a sort of a running course, but it's a lot more difficult than I'm letting on, which is set up by, I think, British Special Forces. They come over and host these kinds of things, or at least the one that my friend participated in was.
Yeah, it's this it's sort of a it's an organization to help the Wounded Warrior Project. So it's really like a charity. What you pay to get in, you run like an obstacle course. Sometimes it's a 5K, sometimes it's 12 miles. It's different for different times of the year. And they have about 20 obstacles for you to go through. So one's a tunnel that's submerged in water, so you have to go through that. Monkey bars with greased up rails. Huge hills. You're going like up a ski resort, so it's really tough hills. Going under barbed wire, there's a tunnel with like electric current going through it, so you can get shocked when you go run through it.
Yeah.
That sounds really brutal.
It's awesome.
The best part of it by far is there's a dumpster full of ice water, and you jump in, and it's freezing. Your body has absolutely no idea what just happened, so it starts to shut down. It's paralyzing, and it's amazing.
This does not sound like something I would cope with.
No. You think so, but then you do it, and you can, and you just feel like invincible.
Do you feel manly?
Kinda.
And Lewis doesn't want to do it.
Yep. I'll go back to my hair and my buttons.
And my buttons.
Listen, Lewis, I have just as nice hair as you, and my hair was perfectly untouched by the end of the Mudder. It's great.
You have no excuse.
That's because you had a hairnet type thing in my mind.
No haircut.
It's like a dinner lady.
Cafeteria
Swimming cap.
But yeah, sorry to deviate.
No, it's all good now.
Yeah.
So Dan, what's next on the old schedule there?
The next on the list is, right, we've done the introduction. I'm assuming you've done Who the Hell is Eric and Hello Again, Lewis. So the next week is our test theme thingy thing. Series 1.
Oh, yes.
Did Lewis get to actually talk? I feel like
I don't know. I was away for 10 minutes. He could have talked in that time.
No, I was being polite for a change. Everyone was shocked at the lyrics.
I was going to say,
Lewis being polite? What?
What even is this?
This is new.
So, Lewis, your controller's assistant, I think you've been promoted to now.
Yes, I've had a promotion. That's something new since last time I was here, actually.
Let's have a round of applause for Lewis, because...
Hey! Does that come with a pay increase?
Yes.
Awesome.
I
Good for
wish.
you, man. You've earned it.
Yay!
So, I'm assuming you're still working on the iOS.
Well, I'm supposed to be. I probably will get around to it this weekend, because I've got literally nothing to do for another 11 weeks.
Yeah.
So you have no excuse not to get to Barrow then by the end
Yeah,
of the summer.
unfortunately. Technically, I'm already at Barrow, because I made a Barrow for Eric.
Oh, well done then.
This is true.
So I can
one of those
make
things I have to
pointless
utilize.
excuses. I can make pointless excuses that I'm actually already finished.
I don't have to carry on, because I'm dumb.
Well, that's good.
So, what progress have you made since we talked to you, what must it be? A couple of months ago?
No,
Yeah.
it was about a month or so.
I think it was April.
Yeah. So what have you been doing?
Very little trains-wise.
Okay, and what's been dragging you away from the most important thing in your life?
GCSEs. I was sort of trying to get grades for my life.
Grades, mate.
Yeah,
I
sort of trying to get into sixth form and not like be sat around without any education.
Education.
You can tell how good Lewis's grades are by the amount of buttons on his shirts.
1, 2, 3. I can count from here.
Does that mean
There's
he's
another 2
intensively
behind the
intelligent?
guitar.
Yeah, there's definitely like 5 on that shirt.
Yeah, there is definitely 5 on it. I've got another shirt that's quite similar to it, and it's got different coloured buttons. And it's from the same shop, and that's also got 5 buttons. I just like that shop. It's a bad habit.
That's an album cover, Lewis.
I'm going to make just like a shitty album just for that, to be honest. I had this cover, so I needed to make an album. But yeah, I have actually done a tiny bit of iOS work. Getting back to the point.
You should emboss it, put it on like old paper, and then make it like an iOS prop.
Yes, it could be
Just like laying on the ground, like furling.
It could be near a
iOS litter.
or a music store or something.
Next to Henry's florist.
You could Photoshop a tuba in instead of your guitar, and then put it as "Come see the brass band."
Yeah.
Or we could have it like as an interactive poster where it actually plays some guitar notes, just makes sound repeatedly till it makes you want to kill
God,
yourself.
it's the ice cream van all over
It's like
again.
sit and pull your hair out, which I wouldn't do because that would be horrible to your
That
hair.
would be tragic, Lewis.
Exactly. Never do that. But yeah, I have made slight iOS progress. As
good.
Jake nicely summarised earlier, I've done scenes and a lake.
Yes, you have. You've done a fantastic lake, and I think about 3 or 4 scenes from series 2.
Yeah, I did.
Done a lake?
And there's an embankment scene from series 3 from Time for Trouble, I think. Then it's got some nice flowers and an embankment and some grass and some trees. And then there's the couple of bends from cows, which, as someone correctly pointed out, I've done one of them wrong, but it was that because it curves the wrong way in the distance.
Shit.
But it's that far in the
That
distance.
was me.
I don't
I
care.
did that.
It was Jake. It was Jake.
I'm sorry. It's not
And I was
TV
just
series
like-
accurate.
You're
Just
so
like,
cool.
I really. That's a really good point, but I've gone too far. I'm just going to have to say that I intend
Well, and
this.
I saw what you had done later, and I said, "Oh, it's not even worth it." And you would have had to redo all that track work that preceded
It's not
it.
too-
anyways.
Do it again!
From scratch. Start.
Make salt.
But yeah, the ultimate plan is just to put Henry's florist in there, and then the route will be completed forever.
So, from Knapford to Wellsworth, done.
Yeah.
From that to Henry's florist.
But no, I think there's all it needs. I've done like all the major scenes other than like Wellsworth. Well, I started that. It just needs some more work. And then it's just like putting filler in, really.
Do you know which model for Wellsworth Yard you're going to use? Which season?
Yeah, I've already made Wellsworth Yard. I've gone for like a bit of a combination of Series 1 and a bit of Series 3, and I think there's a tiny bit from Series 5. So it's like it's very much mix and match, but it's the only thing it isn't is Series 2, which is like the one that everyone will expect it to be.
Well, that's all right. They give
It's
what they
almost
get.
like it's too complicated. We can't do it.
Yeah, no worries there. Oh no, but you don't understand. Where will Bill and Ben assail Boko? In
I
the
know.
yards. Where?
we do still have some sidings. There's sidings where there's 3 tracks, so it could still work. There is still that space to have 2 engines either side of it.
There will be uproar, Lewis. Just you
There
wait
will
and see.
be.
There will be uproar.
I will get
corruption, Lewis.
so much shit for this.
Now you're
They
doing
will
a
be
fine job, man.
demanding. They'll be demanding my name and like demand. They will demand Sean to kill me. Basically, they'll be like, he's not good enough. Get rid of him. And I'll be like, it was Sean. I'll just be like, it was Sean's idea, and then they'll start hating Sean, and they'll be fine with me again.
And then the entire
Then I take
website will
over.
collapse.
And then the assistant will become the controller.
Mwahaha. No, I'm not planning to do that. Make sure Sean does not hear about that.
Yes,
I'm
this
almost
public
certain
live
you
stream
already
recorded.
You heard it
for
here
posterity.
first. Tell no one.
It's
Everyone's on the stream. Let's keep that a secret. Don't
between
tell
you and me,
not even your mothers.
or your mother's tennis partners.
Exactly.
Or the milkman, but we don't like to talk about him.
Yes.
So, I think we shall move on now, since we've caught up with Lewis, to a fantastic new segment that we're going to try out, and which we will continue to try out over the next couple of weeks, which is, maybe not in-depth, but certainly a discussion about a given season of Thomas. And
Yes.
this...
And essentially, we're going to go through them
Yes.
in order.
So we're going to have about 7 good episodes of Sudrian Radio, and then about 12 really bad
Where we
ones.
just start shouting
Yeah,
and moaning.
so look forward to that in about a couple months, but that's fine. So today we're going to begin with season 1.
Yes.
And the aim sort of this talk is just to discuss maybe some childhood memories we have of season 1, as well as discuss perhaps its strengths,
Impact.
as well as weaknesses, and its impact.
And it also means that we're going to cut out all of those questions that we often get, which are, what's your favourite episode from a season? Insert number here.
love answering those.
26.
Because we will be answering those,
Yay.
presumably within this.
Oh god. I can only hope.
Actually, let's do that now. What's your favourite episode of Series 1?
Yay.
I
By the way, that's not an episode.
Daniel,
Is it?
establish the order.
Oh, okay then. Crap. Jake Lewis.
That's not an
Eric.
order.
No, Eric Lewis, Jake. Eric.
Let's see. Oh, there's so many good ones. These are all just like all these memories.
Shit,
I don't know.
There's time to think of one, and I'm not.
It's gonna be really hard in 7 weeks when we're at Series 8. So what's your favourite Series 8 episode?
Yeah,
None of them.
that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Which one's the new engine in? With what's it? What's his name? Oh my god, I forgot his name. Is it Neville?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I can
The
remember.
Q1.
It's okay.
Yes, but he was in Series 9.
Was he?
Said
Yeah.
Brian,
Either way,
slipping out
that's
his
the
Tamas
favourite
fact.
one from season 9. just for that line.
Oh yes, that line.
See, it's
Series
funny
1
to
then,
pick
Eric.
one.
Maybe a top 3.
No, I can pick one out to you. The thing is that with me, when I grew up with these, I was so young that I didn't really distinguish episodes. They were all just sort of like momentary windows into this really cool place. Because when you're a kid, that's what you think. So I remember the one that I think I watched the most. Well, my maybe the debut episode that I ever saw was Thomas, Terrence in the Snow, and that was just all. It was 2 characters, and I believe it was just the 2 characters. It was just this train and this tractor, and then that was it. It was just this little small encompassed, I don't know, like a snow globe. There was nothing else more than that,
Yeah.
and there didn't need to be.
I think I ended up seeing that one quite a lot when I was little. I think it probably was like one of the most common episodes. It wasn't an episode. And snow is just exciting when you're
Yeah. And like you didn't see any other characters in the episode. It was as if this one train was the only train, and that was the one tractor, and it was just you didn't have to juggle plots. It was just one simple story.
I kind of felt like the snowplow, even though it was there for about 2 minutes, the snowplow was kind of a character in itself as well. It was a plot device, but it was also sort of a very pivotal point at the beginning of that story.
It's also cool because it shows a passage of time, which I think is a really good thing to develop on, is to have some sort of concept of the linearity of time. So, this happens this one day, and then he tries this plow, and then, this is over a span of who knows how many days.
He tries to
Days.
plow. I'm sorry for lowering the maturity of this.
Here we are talking about the linearity of time, and you go, plow.
So what about you then, Lewis? What do you think?
I think, having just quickly typed in the wiki and found the list of all that.
Yeah, I'm doing the same, so don't feel like you're the only one.
I was like, that moment when I said I could be using this time, I started using this time. Having looked at all the episodes, I believe Flying Kipper would be my favourite. And it's not because I saw it most, it was just... It was a really enchanting episode to me, sort of thing. Like, the crash, I loved that as a kid, personally. That was just exciting. It's like, there was snow as well, that was exciting. I think, no, but what really got it was those opening scenes of the docks. They were just fantastic to me, and I still love those scenes. Like, that dockyard scene of all, like, it really felt busy, sort of thing. There wasn't, like, loads of background movement or sort of, all you could see was, like, these ships and this crane moving about, but it's like the fog and the noise and like the music, it just felt so real, and like, oh, I love that. Like, if that's one thing I want to capture in the iOS, that's it.
I completely agree with that opening scene. It's so atmospheric.
It's like, even just like that picture of the guard holding the lamp up through the fog, and that was brilliant. I just loved it.
Even the sounds of like the boats and the horns and
like the doors being shut, and I just loved it, really. It was like so great and grand.
My only sort of bad bit with that, at least in harbour scenes, is that for the first two series they always spammed bomb, which that's in every single one. That's fine, it's a good sound effect. Yeah, I agree with all of those. I mean, they're really... I don't think there wasn't a fantastic episode in the first series, honestly. They were all so individual, but all really great in their own ways. But I was always very fond of Percy Runs Away. I think that just... I quite like the character of it all, and how Percy was so cheeky. He eventually gets paid out by Gordon, but then Gordon kind of puts Percy on the same level as him at the end with the rescue, and just kind of acknowledging that he's alright, and that they're all equals in the yard. They all have a special place, they all do different things, but they're all very useful. And I always liked the concept of just a runaway. It was exciting, it was interesting.
Also, the music in that is just like that theme is just so catchy.
Yeah, definitely, and it sets the tone. Really, danger alert. What about you, Dan?
Yes, I am here. Sorry. Hello. I think
Dan just moved away.
It's like, yes. Oh, it's me now. Shit. Right. Okay. My favourite episode would have to be Thomas's Christmas party. And that's mainly because it's one of my overriding memories of my childhood is of my dad reading like the Ladybird book, and it's like, he still teases me with those first lines today. It's like if I ever mention Thomas, I go, "It was Christmas on the island of Sodor, and all the engines were working hard."
Still, Dan, that's better than it was a sunny day.
It was a sunny day on the island.
It was the winter holiday time on the island of Sodor.
Happy winter holidays, everyone.
But it was so simple, and like there was like there was a problem that they all had to solve, and they worked together to solve it. But it had like all the engines, and they were all there.
And
it was
there
like
snow.
Yeah, and there was snow. Snow is really cool. No, look. In Britain, we didn't really get white Christmases.
Exactly.
We didn't really get snow, truth be told. So these TV shows where there are like loads of snow, they're lying to you first and foremost. And it also that's why it was really cool. Yeah. But
Personally, I love how we have discovered there is a theme of favourites of snow. Snow makes a good episode.
Unless you're
we have just discovered this. Yeah, unless you're Jack.
Sorry about that. I'm the outlier. Hooray!
But that is a valuable piece of like information for anyone who wants to make a good episode. Put some snow in it.
Put some snow right up in it.
Snow.
I'm gonna have to redo everything.
But it's like in the first series, it was quite. It's like a fairy tale type thing. It's all really warm and welcoming.
Apart from when it's snowing.
Yeah, apart from when it's snowing, in which case you're going to crash or someone's going to get buried in a house.
Well, no, I was just thinking it won't be warm.
Oh.
It's cold and welcoming, exactly.
Cold and
I don't
welcoming.
care about the welcoming thing, it's just it won't be warm, Dan, or the snow.
Let's be specific here.
Let's be technical. It's not like it's not real or anything. God.
Yeah. Sorry,
You
I
saying
didn't mean
it
to imply that.
So we've discussed highlights, maybe pitfalls now. As the opening series, as a sort of an experiment, as the first try, as it were, what do you think they did wrong, maybe, or what do you think they could have done better?
Good question.
That is a good question.
I wouldn't say wrong as such,
Is it wrong?
because it's not wrong.
Is it
but
decent?
You can see how
It's not wrong, we just don't do it.
you can see as they move on into the second season, or series, that they've started growing up with their audience, which is why season 2 is a bit darker. And in a way, it would have been nice to see maybe a couple of hints. No, it wouldn't. I love season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything to fault them with, because as a child, I didn't look for any imperfections. I just sort of just watched it as it was and took it as it was. And it's sort of this perfection, this unfailing thing. I don't know, I mean, sure, you watch it today and there's definitely like continuity errors and all this crap, but like back then I didn't, it didn't faze me.
I don't know, as a child, I personally, I didn't necessarily find it boring, but like, because I grew up with like season 5, when season 5 was like around, so it was like, compared to like the Michael Bayness of season 5, and like,
I was going to say,
and like I don't know, there was just something like about season 3 and 4. I found season 3, 4 and 5 like slightly more interesting than season 1. I mean, season 1 is brilliant, like now I'm at this age and I understand and like appreciate it, but as a kid I still liked watching season 1 episodes, but I preferred to watch the newer season.
Yeah, there was a lot more action, I think.
Yeah.
the William Tell overture makes a big difference, don't you think?
Yeah. That was the sole reason I watched season 5, just to hear.
It's like how it moved on from children's books to being stories about engines in a way, which is quite it's a ridiculously picky distinction to make.
Yeah,
it's
less about learning lessons or morals, I guess, and more just about telling a story about what happened on a railway.
Yeah.
It's a lot more physical too. I mean,
yes, the amount.
If you look at the previous season, you look at season 2. Let's take it back. You look at season 1. There's really not a whole lot going on. You with the exception of flying Kipper and down the mine, and I don't know, something tenders and turntables getting spun around. Like there's really not, or Gordon takes a dip or whatever it's called. There's really not a whole lot of times where anything physically happens to the engines.
Well, having said that does remind me, like, the Thomas's train, that was a particular episode that I rather liked as well. And there's a particular reason, like, whilst we're on about, like, there's not much happening, one thing I loved in that episode was the bit where they showed Thomas just, like, shunting around Knapford. I think that really had, like, feel to it, sort of thing. I really felt this was like a busy station. It was massive and there was loads going on, and I still feel that when I see that scene of him shunting, like of all these trains going off to different places, that just like caught me, sort of thing, with this like love of the railway, sense of adventure, sort of thing. Go anywhere.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Just that pan as Thomas pulls in Knapford, and Thomas and Gordon is just like one of the
all
best.
these like trucks everywhere, and
well, even the coaches too. Just individually, it's interesting to see them outside of being arranged in a train. It gives you a feel of what happens next. Where's this going?
Yeah, something really warm about it.
Yeah, and in that same way, it wasn't Knapford or Tidmouth. It was the sheds and the big station.
Yeah,
and that sort of added to the coziness. It's like
it was that simplicity.
It's like the big station was a big station.
Exactly.
Gordon's Hill.
And it wasn't like
Gordon's Hill was hilly.
It wasn't the Wellsworth to Meriden incline.
I thought you were going to say intercourse then. I don't know why, because it wouldn't have made sense, but I just did.
Yet again, lowering the tone.
Wow.
Yeah, as always, Lewis.
Done it again. This is why you didn't get cheeseburgers.
Such a treat.
No, I remember my grandparents used to take me into New York as a kid, and we'd always go to Penn Station, and it was just the big station when I was a kid. So hearing the big station in the show was just kind of like that. It drew a parallel.
Yeah, I get that. With York was like the biggest station I ever went to when I was a kid, and so I sort of associated that with Honest One of You. It's like you sort of got you could link it and get that feel. You understood like what it must have been like.
Yeah.
Much more so, I think, for you, Lewis, just because York is a very arched, glass roof station. I'm not too sure about Penn Station.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's got tall ceilings, but nothing like we have there. Just by name alone.
Roof.
Yeah, it's not that impressive, but just the big station.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's. Anyone want to add any more discussion on Series 1?
The music from Thomas and the Trucks was absolutely astounding. That's still to this day my favourite piece of music.
Yeah, music really enhanced that. Yeah.
I love watching these just from time to time when I get home and I'm just drunk as hell and I just put them on the TV. No, it's serious. It's so much fun. Because normally I just wouldn't watch them on my own, so it's a good excuse for me to just put them on and watch them.
I thought you were going to say it's a good excuse for me to get drunk.
You just get drunk to do this.
Absolutely.
The whole reason Eric drinks, we've now found out the root of Eric's drinking problem.
And it's
this show has caused me to drink.
And then as well as me, you've got the wonderful direction by David Mitten.
Yeah. He knew how to shoot these. He knew what worked.
Yeah. Definitely.
And you could see the passion in it, like just the details, everything, the lighting, the smoke, the dressing, like the set dressing. It was just all so perfect.
I think the thing what made it come alive for me was the eyes.
Yeah.
Because now I've attempted to even get near that's replicating it with like something like Crazy Talk.
It's tough.
Difficult.
Mm-hmm. It's so tough. It's one of the hardest.
It's like the eye roll. Yeah. It's like there's an infamous eye roll where you just go, oh, what's that? But they do it with a roll of the eyes, and that's really difficult.
I missed that in the new season. I'm sad that went away and it never came back.
They brought it back very briefly in Blue Mountain Mystery, I think, but it was just a one-time thing. Yeah. It's. I think that'd be interesting to see again. Yeah, I seem to remember some behind-the-scenes, either maybe footage or just a couple of photos of the giant, massive 1980s remote controllers that they would have to use just to control the eyes.
I think also something about Series 1 is like the fact that it was using models. There's something that like even now it still captures as just like you think that's a massive model railway, and it's like that's amazing sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as a kid that's even better.
Yeah. Well, and you can see. I think there's a famous picture just of people standing on the Tidmouth Sheds set.
Yeah.
Look at the scale of just how much effort and time and craftsmanship went into making the show look as it did.
Yeah. It's so impressive.
All right, I think we've quite well established. Successful segment, yes. We'll bring that back next week, Season 2.
Season 2, which will be with me and Jake. Don't know who we'll be discussing it with, but
someone.
Just some random bloke off the street. Dan's gonna drag him in. Here's a homeless guy that I caught.
And so, I think...
Here's a homeless guy I caught, like a disease.
You might get a disease from him.
Oh my.
Let's discuss the new episodes.
I was going to say from old to new. Let's talk about the 5... Is it 5 new episodes that have come out since?
4. Actually, no. Is that 4? Was there one that came out on Friday?
Add them on your fingers, Daniel.
No, I genuinely don't know.
Okay, calm down, Caitlin. Right.
In total, I was under the impression it was just, let's call it 10, because it's just 10 episodes that we've seen of the entire season, right?
Oh, so it probably was 5 then.
Yeah, but we've discussed
Sudrian Radio, the height of preparedness.
I was here when the others were out.
We've discussed. I know we've discussed like 6 with Lewis.
Obviously, I'm the recurring theme for finding the new episodes.
Yeah. So whenever Lewis is on Sudrian Radio, a new episode will have come out a week before. Right. That's right. Oh, not now, Charlie. It is 5.
I've not seen that one.
Oh, well, that's going to be quite difficult for you to do a review of it.
Let me fill you in,
I've
Lewis.
seen the others.
Terribly much.
Alright then. So, let's start with the obvious one to start with. Calm down, Caitlin. What did we think of that?
Stand.
Same order as we did the episodes. Eric.
Let's see. That one, it was okay. I liked it. I'm willing to give it a shot. It didn't really, as a character introduction, it was nice, but I think it had a lot more potential. I think it was sort of a step backwards a little bit in terms of the writing quality of having the same line read 3 times, and it's sort of almost like a 3-strike. But I mean, it shows off the character well, and it was entertaining. I'll give it that. Wasn't my favorite, but it was good enough.
Okay. Right, Lewis, you've seen this one, haven't you?
Yes, I have seen this.
I'm going to ask you this every episode. Because you obviously aren't a fan.
It's not necessarily like a bad episode. It's just I really wanted to punch Caitlin in the face. She really wound me up. I was literally sat there, you're so needy. I would have punched you. Like, I felt for Gordon not getting sleep. I would have punched her at that point if she was disturbing my sleep. I can't stand people who disturb me when I'm trying to sleep. That really winds me up. So it's like, although I did find that quite entertaining, what Gordon's like, I thought he was very in character there. That was brilliant. That made me laugh. Even like Percy, like being mature and realising that everyone wanted her to go, which is like, oh yeah, sure, you can take my train. Other noticeable thing, like the episode wasn't bad. It was better than like the previous season at least. Well, that's not particularly hard. The other thing I noted was when she's pulling the flying kipper, the vans are like not in scale with each other, and that really irritated me. I could barely even watch that bit. I was just like, it's all out of scale.
It just broke down.
Like the CCT vans were smaller than the normal vans and the brake van, and I was about to kill myself.
Wow.
Well,
wow.
Welcome to the modeller's child.
Exactly. Here we
wow.
go.
This is what modelling does to you. If you see other models that aren't right, you get really wound up. Don't model.
Don't model.
Pro tip for you kids out there, you young aspiring modelers rather.
I should encourage people to model. I should encourage people to model, because then they stop asking for content. But no.
Exactly. Go make it yourself.
They only do it wrong.
You'll only wind me up when you're not doing it right. At least I'm honest. No, if you want to become a model, talk to someone who knows about catwalks and good clothes. And get some good hair. And buttons. Buttons. They're key.
Buttons do black.
I thought it was alright. at least story-wise, yeah, I get it. It's a little catchy, you know. But I think the detailing was phenomenal. It's a fantastic improvement. The guards, whistles, and flags and all, they brought back. Caitlin couldn't move because of a very legitimate reason. One of her brakes had caught on, so they had to stay and fix it. The Fat Controller, as well as Gordon and Henry, had some very good dialogue this time around. And it was nice seeing the new sets, like the Vickerstown Bridge, as well as, I guess, seeing again some of the older sets, like the Animal Park and you know, just some bits of countryside that I thought wouldn't come back again. That bit actually, when Caitlin's running past the village with the post train, and all the lights come on and the dog's barking, I thought that was fantastic.
It's a great detail.
Yeah. So, I thought it was good. I liked it.
Shit, this is me again, isn't it? Right, okay.
I mean, a bit, yeah.
I've got something to say, apparently. I like the animation. I like the Fat Controller throughout the entire episode.
That's just a general, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a general thing. I just like morbidly obese people with power. And he does own an entire railway.
He also has buttons. He has buttons and that top hat.
Well, what could be any sexier than that?
This guy could be a model.
Yes. But it was like, even at the start when he's explaining the problem and he's getting onto the barrel, he's saying, I don't know what you get up to on the mainland. I laughed at that. That was quite funny. And then at the end, when he says, if you want to be really useful, go and do what you should be doing. It's very in character. He's telling them off and encouraging them to do the right thing, as he always did do.
You know what I've noticed, actually, this season? There's lots of noticeable duty swaps. I think with Scruff in the first 5 episodes trying to get new jobs. Caitlin here pulling the post train, the flying kipper, and then later with Millie and Luke, the switch. I thought that's kind of an interesting play that they're going at, that not everything has to be exciting crashes and specials. You can just switch jobs with an engine, and that's a legitimate reason for doing something new.
Although crashes are so much fun.
Yes, they are.
And it sucks because I do love a good crash. Like, I didn't mind, you know, the Michael Bay. Well, the Michael Bay part was kind of ridiculous, but you know, it bothers me because I feel like any crash that would ever happen now would be purely cosmetic. So I don't think you're ever going to get another flying kipper. I don't think you're ever going to get another, dirty objects. I think any sort of crash where a train runs into another train is going to be like when Peter Sam hit the slate truck and like the thing fell out, or you know when Whiff hit the cars, and I think it was Whiff's Wish or some forgettable episode where he hits a train and there's just like rubbish everywhere.
I seem to remember. I think it was Thomas and the Storyteller. Thomas smashed into a couple of trucks full of books, and the crash that they actually did do was so unbelievable. The trucks looked like they were made out of paper. They just flying
bounced,
around.
I think they bounced off of the ground.
Yeah, it was bad. So maybe that's not a bad thing.
Not as bad as By George, but
no.
By George, but definitely pretty bad.
Next one is Henry's Hero. Before I go through the general, I'm just going to say this stuff. I didn't particularly like this one, not because Duck appeared. We'll talk about Duck later, probably. Actually, we will. He's in the questions bit. But mainly, I didn't quite get the moral of the story. It seemed quite muddled. No, I got the moral. I got there was the moral of like you have to keep on puffing. You've got to carry on. But then Hero damages himself from going too far with that. And it seemed like there wasn't an establishment. No, there wasn't an establishment that you have to reach the happy medium between the two, which I would have liked personally.
I think it shows that no matter what, there are people out there who will continue and they will endure when they know that it's not good. I think that's sort of it tells you, like, if you associate with Henry, which I think it's trying to do. I think they want you to associate with the character that's been there for the longest. It's saying, this is what you might think, but these people will continue. Sort of, not, it doesn't have to be as dark.
You're trying to say Japanese people always continue.
Racist.
I'm sorry, I had to go there.
You were racist.
We'll put a nice shiny James
You said
whistle on
these
that
people, and I instantly just thought, Eric, that's such a brilliant comment. I've got to go. I'm not a racist. This was all Tyrone's fault.
Totally. Always blame Rytone. But no, I liked it because I mean I don't associate with Henry. I associated with Hero, like the mutter. Like you can't, you endure. But I don't know. That's what I walked away from it with.
No, I did get the morals, but I felt it needed to establish itself a little more clearly at the end that they were both right to an extent. Personally, I associated with Henry because... I associated with Henry at the end because at the start I just thought he was a wuss. We're just really crap.
He should be out there on the
He typically is a wuss, but they made him really epic and awesome.
I don't like Henry.
And then it was like...
to be honest.
Oh, you don't like his happy Cole.
I don't like his character. The eyes are too big for a star. That just irritates me. That just really irritates me because he just looks like
a cat.
Exactly. Gordon's like.
It's the same with Gordon.
I cannot. Oh, they wind me up.
Mind my eyes. Yeah, I like to notice the sort of smaller, more detailed works. I liked that they used, I like that they abolished the special coal. That has finally been addressed. Unless Hero also uses special coal, I think.
It's special coal.
No, it's especially special. I like that has now been thrown under the rug. No, Henry was rebuilt in, what was it, Season 1. He does no longer need special coal. And yeah, I as well, when Hero fails and Henry's having to push him and the entire train up the hill, I get a very Super Rescue kind of vibe, and that was actually kind of cool.
To be fair, that animation then was really good, because you could really see the straining and whatever. That was cool.
The one thing
his face is just great.
Yeah. The one thing
the face kind of went
wished
to determined, and it was quite neat to see it change.
The one thing I could have wished for, and this goes with I think all episodes too, is a bit of wheel slip. I think if they added wheel slip in, that would be amazing. But otherwise, no. I mean, I liked it. I agree, Dan, that the sort of outcome, the morals are a little cloudy, but it was
maybe
an episode. It resolved the conflict, and also it's stuck.
Sand in the rails sort of thing, because I loved that in Toad Stands By. Mm-hmm. That was brilliant. Then again,
they can have people running out of the cab with a sand bucket.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, because they've got sandpipes, but it'd look cool.
It makes so much sense.
I don't know, Dan, you enjoy the Fat Controller running too much, so I think running drivers and firemen would appeal to you quite a bit.
Only if they were morbidly obese and wearing top hats. We've established this. Right. Going quite neatly. Henry's new friend. Luke's new friend. Right. Eric.
So let's see, Luke's new friend. I mean, I enjoyed it. That I thought was fun. I thought that it was just a nice little episode. It didn't have to be more than it was. I'm actually trying to figure out my notes here because it's just cloudy with all of the stuff that we've been talking about.
I was going to say, as the reviewer of some of the Series 17 episodes.
No, I should probably be better on my game with that. So let's see. Shit, that's not. That's fine.
It's ooh.
Okay, so.
I love the clap. It just sounded so positive.
Yeah.
So review.
No, it was nice on its own. It's first of all, one of the things, and not to reiterate everything that I've written in my review, obviously there's no Thomas. He's on his own, doing his own thing. He could have been doing a million other things right now. Like, one of the things that I like in concept is if when you don't see somebody doing something and then you watch an episode later with them in it, you kind of can draw a parallel between them, and I wish that people would tease that more often. You know, there's really no way to do it without perfectly plotting. But like, say last season, you remember the episode with the Calliope?
Yeah.
There should have been at some point, maybe in that entire season, if you had seen that train just pass by with Diesel in the front, the Calliope, and Percy, or the other way around, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you could have totally intertwined the stories that way, and just you draw these connections between them, which I think is awesome. And I wish that something like that would happen. For this episode in particular, you know, I thought that just the animation was great, the concept of having explosions and there not being any sort of negativity attached to them, any sort of stigma. The sequence with the fawn or the baby deer is just, it's everything with that was sweet. I think some stuff was neglected, like, okay, what the hell is she doing in the cab, and how is she maintaining this positive, calm attitude in the cab of a train where it's really noisy.
Not to mention
But,
hot and cramped.
you know, it is what it is. It was very sweet. It wasn't over the top or ridiculous. It just fit. Everything worked together, and I thought it was a charming episode.
Lewis, say opinions.
On what?
The one with the deer.
Oh, that one.
Wait, first, Lewis, did you see
No,
this
the
one?
other one.
No, there was two with Brett Fluke. The deer one.
Clap.
Right, I know what to do. Didn't help, Eric.
Damn.
I'm trying to remember this one. I know which one it is. I'm trying to remember what happened now. There was a deer. Yeah. I suppose it must have been nice for kids, because kids like animals, I think. Personally, it was slightly amusing, I guess, because there was like trying to work quietly, that amused me, and then when they were making noise, accidentally making noises, that was quite funny. I just sort of liked seeing the narrowgauge engines, and then like, yeah, I suppose it had enough moral, I guess, but the animation was nice, I suppose, but it's like, it was an alright episode.
It's so hard to do
I
our own opinions without running into 20-minute long reviews.
I think it says something that I'm struggling to remember. It wasn't that notable, sort of thing. It was an alright episode, but it wasn't really that notable.
Okay.
Yeah, I also thought just about the same. It almost kind of reminded me of some of the not earlier, but sort of, it gave me kind of an early CGI vibe, which it wasn't great. I mean, I liked it well enough, but it wasn't my favorite. I'd say it was probably one of the poorer ones of the new 5 which have been released. I quite like to see the goings on in the quarry. I thought that was cool, and as well seeing Ulfstead Castle kind of fleshed out for the first time. That was nice, but yeah, it didn't strike me as anything special or interesting.
I understand. I get that. It was kind of like an average, just filler in a way, and I quite like filler. I think interesting fillers, really nice.
I wouldn't say it was forgettable. I mean, I think it's just we're so used to being just receiving blah episodes. We don't know good ones when we don't know how good we have it right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I still want to stress that there were vast improvements.
Huge. So, I mean, even if you can't remember every specific detail, it doesn't mean it's a bad episode. If you enjoyed it while you were watching it, then it was worth watching. if you didn't enjoy it, if you hated the deer, if you don't like Luke, then it's not your thing, and that's fine. I think it's all subjective how we want it, how we like it, and how we view it. And some of us take it for what it is. Other of us are really grasping on the old material and wanting models to come back in giant crashes. And
I don't think it was a bad episode. It was just, it sort of got overshadowed by the next Luke episode. Sort of things like that one was more memorable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, like I was saying, the concept of duty swap and just sort of a rivalry. We haven't seen really rivalry apart from the Steamies and Diesels thing. That's all. But it's
all bollocks.
It's all bollocks. But it was interesting, I guess, in the Switch, which we'll talk about now, just to see how characters who, again, very refreshing to have characters with set duties, set responsibilities, put into an environment where they are uncomfortable, where they don't know what to do or how to behave. And I thought it was strongly written. It's good.
So the Switch. Let's talk about that. So Millie as a character, really just a fun character. I really liked her. I think there's a lot more that can happen with her. Like, she just from the get-go seems very competitive and very much like I said with Hero, with wanting to get it done and power through it regardless of what it takes. If you're enduring. So it's sort of the moral here that I took away from it is just doing something new, but really just letting it happen, like letting it wash over you, doing it, getting it done. And she's just a fun character, and I thought that a lot of the things that stuck out in this episode was her personality and her voice actor, along with this other character that wasn't properly established, but now we're sort of getting him, we're understanding him a lot more. And they're just two original characters that were never from any railway series or any earlier seasons. Not seasons 13 and down or 14 and down or whatever. But a lot of the stuff, again, the details, even in the episode with the animation, the happy kid that's, jumps out of the wagon, and it was just a fun episode. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a blast watching it. I had a great time reviewing it. So it was worth it.
It was nice finally meeting the Earl as well. He was interesting.
Oh yeah. I like the fact that there's an order of things again. It's nice that they have, he has to confirm with other people that they can do the job swap. It's like they have to ask permission, and then they get permission, and they do it, and that's how life works.
No, it's true. And it's these little details that we've been missing, and now that we have them, we're just sort of like, we don't know how to react, because we're just sort of like, this is really awesome. We have all these good things, and then sometimes they're overshadowed by the next thing and the next thing. It's sort of like a give me, crave more kind of thing.
Like duck.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to get onto the questions at some point.
What time is it, Dan? How far in are we?
We're about an hour and 10 minutes in.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah, we've got 30 questions.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the last one then.
Hang on. I need to make one point.
I was gonna say, did Lewis get to weigh in on that?
No, but I was completely in my own world, showing renders to the other chat. No, but Luke and Millie.
Luke and Millie,
wow. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, please. Don't do it.
Okay. Not now, Charlie.
All right, let's make it quick so we can get to questions. Yeah. My whole thing is this was one of those episodes where, one of the biggest complaints I think of the earlier seasons was that you could have an episode where an engine learns something or does something, and we watch it and we're just like, this could have been anybody. This could have been Duck. This could have been Boko. This could have been Ben, Bill. This could have been anybody. And with this one, in particular, it revolved and it worked for having it be Charlie, because he's just such a schmuck. And he's just so full of jokes that for him to have to play the boy and the boy who cried wolf, it's very fitting. And I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I thought that the narrator held back a lot. And I think there were definitely some wasted opportunities, like, you know, alluding to Henry and the elephant, or for whatever reason, I really wanted the elephant to get a shoe, and I'm not over this yet. This so should have happened. But it would have been so hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Talking of the elephant, I think the elephant was really well modelled and animated, and the reveal of the elephant, where it's just like, on the line ahead was an elephant, and you go, wait, what? Oh, okay. Right.
Oh, the animation was spectacular.
And it was just sort of there, and I really liked it. I think it was fun and interesting, and it was nice to see Harold again, doing something nice. I don't remember Harold doing useful things. He just sort of stood in that new playset thing and floated around occasionally. Yeah, again, when he took off, there was the newspaper flying away, and then it was just the people in this affair, like the zookeeper looking out of the binoculars and then turning them around.
That was quite fun. I think I agree with Eric in that they missed an opportunity for a throwback to Henry the Elephant. That would have been amazing. But even that aside, it was nice seeing another side of Charlie. You kind of sympathize with him because he's kind of put himself in this position, you know, and he can't really do anything to amend it, and the only person who takes him seriously is Harold. While I still honestly don't really like Charlie too much as a character, it was nice. They did a good job with him for what it was. I felt it was a good episode.
Honestly, if we never see Charlie again, if that's like his curtain call episode, I'm okay with that. Because I don't see there any other stories for him to ever be in ever. I think this is, if we wanted to thin the cast out, I think this should be his bow out. This is all we need, and we never need to see him again, or Silly Billy, or anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it wasn't like it was it was not a high note certainly, but it was a good send off if that's the case. It wasn't like he did stupid things and nothing got done. You know, there was plot, there was development, and that's ideal,
there was Gordon's laughter and Charlie's face when he laughs. But
pouty lip.
Those great little moments. There's so many of them, and I love that this has become a new standard for the show. Is letting these characters, rather than be faces that frame the narration or bookend the narration, they're just letting them talk to each other just normally, and it's great.
I think what would be interesting to try and do is to just mute the episode and to see what the animation actually shows. Maybe put music over it, I don't know. But just because the animation is so awesome, and so, not that Nitrogen's wasn't, I mean, you could do this with a Nitrogen episode, but there's so much more that you can go on with the newer ones.
Yeah.
They're really visual.
But, yeah, I agree. It's again, like detail works. You know, small things you might not notice on your first watch, but then you go back and say, oh, he's messed up with the binoculars, or oh, there's a second workman behind the animal park wall, or something like that.
I actually paused and I brought it back. I was like, did I really just see that? And I was laughing because it was just something that if you're a kid, you don't get it. You have no idea what the hell just happened. And that's for us. That's for the us and the adults watching it with their kids. That's for them.
They don't even have to be their kids. They can just be watching with kids.
Or that.
Yeah, well.
Or you can just be like us and just not even have kids. Just
you could be drunk and
them
watch
on the internet. Like Eric, just get drunk and then watch them.
it.
And the experience must be so much more fun.
Drink responsibly, children. So, Dan, perhaps we'll move on to questions now.
Oh, God. Right.
Oh, sorry, did you want to do the duck rant first and then questions?
No, we'll do the duck rant within the questions.
Okay.
Because the first question is Duck the Great Western Engine an overrated character? And if so, why?
Jump the gun a bit. Alright.
Yes. If so... okay, I think... Not as in he's a bad character. Duck is fine. Duck is one of those characters who you use for banter. The other engines will talk to Duck, but I don't care about him. He's just for good banter.
I think he's a memorable character. I think overrated. I believe that his absence is felt, and I think he's just such a unique design that his character, it's sort of easy to miss because, I don't know, you look in the most recent years and a lot of the new characters, like if you put, Billy, Charlie, and was it Sydney, or what the heck is the name?
Stanley, isn't it?
Stanley. You put them all together in a line.
Yeah.
They're three similar looking characters, I think.
Yeah. He's got a unique silhouette, and he's got a unique presence as well.
And I think what sucks is that when you remove a character that has three wheels, has these huge saddle tanks, and you replace him with three new characters that are very flat, I think it's sort of almost like an unintentional insult.
Yes.
So I could see a lot of people being on the defensive because there have been characters that look like him, but none that act like him, and it's sort of trying to fill a void of this character that does not really necessarily need to be gone.
I always viewed Duck as like the voice of reason, as it were, at the big station, the sheds.
Yeah.
And he'd be there, and he'd be no nonsense and getting the message across clearly enough. But in the TV series, there isn't that sense of location. So you could have Edward doing the same role, or Thomas. Thomas did the same thing in that Harvey episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. And in a way, it's like, it's not that he's not a good character. I think the pride aspect it's a unique sense of pride, not felt by Gordon and Need, but I just don't care.
You're just taking it for what it is.
It's Duck.
Yeah.
Fine.
I was admittedly, I was happy to see him back. It was nice. It's like saying hello to an old friend, But yeah. I agree with everything that you're saying, Dan. He's good. He's good for some things, but he's interchangeable. He's nice for background scenery.
To be the knobby one, I never really cared about Duck, to be honest. When I was little, I never really noticed him. Like, seriously, for me, he was a character I never cared about, sort of thing. Like, he was just there, like, he didn't really stand out to me. Or anything.
Yeah. Because what is Duck really remembered for? Duck and the diesel engine. That's good.
I mean, that's huge as far as, that's a good chunk of...
Yeah,
that's 3 episodes out of the second season.
Yeah. Well, and even all of the branch line stuff,
Yeah.
Donald's
even the
Duck
stuff with
and...
Bulgy, like even
Mm-hmm.
But then that's 2 episodes, and actually that's true. I think Duck was a jerk to Diesel. Quite frankly, if Duck hadn't been such a dick, none of it would have happened.
Yeah, but that's his personality, and now we know that much more about him.
I
we can use it to hit our advantage.
I always viewed Duck as sort of a tank engine Gordon, at least in terms of personality. He's quite proud of who he is, and he knows best. But he's a hard worker and he wants to do well. And honestly, with the way that the TV series is going, I think that a character like that it's variety. It's something that needs to be brought back as opposed to just the passive. I suppose I'll go shunt trucks here, or something. Characters that there've been handfuls and handfuls of lately.
Yeah, he just the way that I see him is that he's always just been kind of really chill, just kind of like, hey, what's up? He's gonna do his job and he has fun doing it, and he's just kind of like everyone's. I don't know. He's like that kid in school that he was just like the cool guy, but you knew there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to him. He was just kind of like, yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Yeah.
You're like, want him to help you move.
Okay. Next, good. We've discussed Duck. We haven't said if. Yeah, Okay. Question for Eric and Dan.
Favoritism.
Who are your favourite characters of Thomas the Tank Engine, and please explain why? We might have answered this before, but do you know what? Just because Jake wasn't mentioned, asking it anyway. Eric, who's your favourite character?
Don't mind me.
Can I just say Duck and that would be done with it? No, I don't know. I like them all for different reasons. I have to say, Boko and Duck sort of seemed like one person. They were one character because they were just kind of always chilling out. And that's sort of what I liken myself to. I just kind of feel like I'm just kind of hanging out. Like, if something goes wrong, I'm on it, and, like, I'll help fix it. But otherwise, it's just like, I'm doing my thing. So I'm that guy that you saw in high school that you would help you move. But there's not much to me. Yeah, I guess Boko would be one of my favorites, even though there's really not a whole lot to him. There's nothing there. There's really not a whole lot. I mean, it's a great character, but he's just big, he's strong, and he's just like, whatever. He'll do whatever he wants to do and what he needs to do, and then, you know, he's cool with that. He's like an adult.
Okay. I choose Edward. I choose you. There we go. Yeah, because Edward's awesome. He just is.
You want to elaborate more on that?
I was going to say, can you be at least any more specific?
Okay, then. Edward was... Because I remember 3 Railway Engines, because I had... My parents got a job lot of the books when I was young.
Count to any higher than 3, so, you know, he can...
Yeah, I got 3. Okay. But we had 3 Railway Engines, 3 Railway in London, and Edward's Day Out...
introduced Thomas afterwards, and he was number 1.
Yeah, my counting was never any good. And that's why I'm a rubbish accountant. I'm also the reason why there's the credit crunch at the moment, but that's another story. But you have Edward's Day Out, and it's just the story of an engine who finally gets his chance to prove himself. And while Thomas had that story, every engine basically has that story. But Edward's resonated with me because it was like he'd already proven himself, and then they'd forgotten about him. And I thought that was really sad in a way. And then so yes.
And Dan cried a bit.
And also Edward's exploit, because I like that episode.
Tears rolled down the side of his face.
One manly tear, I'll thank you to remember, Lewis. Okay then. One of many things you can do with Invisible Track was seen in the trailer, which you should probably go and look at. Name 7 more things you can use / make with it. I think between us we can come up with 7 things.
Shape of the penis, number 1. I'm sorry.
Roadway, number 2.
Road 2.
I used to use it for smoke effects. I would submerge engines beneath the geometry and make it look like they were draining their cylinders.
Oh,
I use it to lengthen sidings so that you can put a trigger point or track mark at the end of the siding, and the engine light to go all the way to the end of the siding.
So that's number... I can't count any higher than 3.
4. I'm counting on my hand. Dan.
You're going to do well in your exams.
I've done my maths exams. I got an A star. Fuck off.
I've done my maths exams. I don't need to count anymore.
Not only roadways, but ships, boating as well.
Yeah, that's 5.
Bad crashes, 6.
Yes.
Got to think of 7.
Embarrassing. A maths one. Flying cam.
Okay, flying cam. There we go. Yeah. That's one.
We actually managed that. I didn't think we were going to do that.
What do you like doing outside of the filmmaking, Lewis?
Playing guitar. Quite
Jake.
A lot. And drawing.
I don't know. I go bowling.
What do you recommend to make trains less likely? Put all the settings to shit. Have you ever been to a Dare with Thomas event?
No.
No.
Lewis.
Yes.
I have 2. I was young.
Yeah. I think I've even got a video of it. It's like a bit family video.
Right, you can't say that without the potential of sending it to us, so just stop talking.
Guys,
I'm thinking about selling my house to buy
I have no idea if we do have a copy or where the copy would be, so... And it was probably on a VHS, so...
Way to get our hopes up.
Damn.
Young Lewis, that's totally what we want to see. Guys, I'm thinking of selling my house to get more Thomas merchandise, specifically of a certain Great Western engine that has recently been spotted. Now, here's the question.
Look at his backstory. That's not even the question. It's like it leads me in thinking there's going to be a question related to this, and then goes on a completely different point.
Now,
here's the question. When recording, how do you get in the zone, as it were? Any warm-ups or getting into character things you do at all? Personally... Oh, okay.
When recording what, like lines or like...
I'm assuming lines.
Lines?
Oh,
really? I'll read the script and I'll know what I'm
like.
I'll read like the line above and below and try to understand the context to help me.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but I don't always do that. I just sort of try and do it all in one go so that I don't lose the accent.
Well, that's very important. Personally,
with accents.
Depending on the character, I'll have like a trigger line. So, like, yeah, I just can't think of any at the moment. But you know, like, it's like if you were doing an impression of Captain Star from Tugs, you'd have the tugboat for its size. That's kind of one of those types of lines.
Yeah, I think like also it's just like thinking what the character be thinking at this point, sort of thing. So you can get that emotion in your voice, sort of thing. Emotionally roller coaster.
Emotion.
Snoo. It's just like just giving your voice depth, really. That's the main thing.
Jake?
I watch Brian Blessed before I do Gordon lines.
Gordon's alive!
Gordon's alive!
Question for stuff that nobody cares about. What do you like about Thomas? Who cares?
It's not done that.
Question for Jake. Do you plan on composing any themes from the CGI series on Mario Paint Composer?
That's really specific.
Yeah, not many of them. I'm quite fond of the theme from the beginning of Wayward Winston. That's a good one. Winston, rather. Slurring my speech. Already a little drunk today.
Winston.
Yeah, maybe some of them.
Okay. Question for anyone. When will last week's episode of Sudrian Radio be uploaded? It's been a while now, and I'd like to relive that hour and a bit of audio ecstasy when I edit it. I asked myself a question that's really bad. I didn't think I'd have to answer it.
But there you are, answering it. A sure sign of insanity, Dan.
Multiple personalities.
There, see? That's 3 now. 3 agree that you're insane.
Shut up!
Okay.
God. I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the voices in my head.
Shut up!
Jake, is your Little Western route railway series or TVS?
It's TV series, but that'll probably never see the light of day again, only because that is going to be scrapped from my current project. So, nope, doesn't matter.
What do you think of James appearing before he was introduced? What?
Say again? No? Sorry.
What do you think of James appearing before he was introduced?
Oh, he means like James appeared in the sheds sometimes before.
I don't care.
Yeah,
they just ran out of engines.
He was just there. Nobody cares.
And if you're talking about the railway series, where there's a red engine pushing... Yeah, that's not James. It's not Eagle. It's just a red engine.
It's not real. I'm sorry, but it's not.
That was brilliant.
A couple of
Why would anybody have a debate over that?
Because it's important. Damn it, I don't know.
It was just brilliant the way Eric said it, because it sounded like he was really, really sad.
Quite like the Eagle.
A couple of questions for everyone. What do you think of Millie's a good character?
Yeah. Get it from Luke, sorry.
Ew.
I meant the job. I meant she would get the job.
So gross,
She would
Lewis.
get the job.
Do you think
get the
Ark
job
will
of the
bring back
quarry.
any classic characters in season 17?
No, but seriously,
and
it couldn't
onwards?
work. It couldn't. Sorry to go back to the previous question, but
If
it
he
wouldn't
does,
work.
we won't know until
Millie's
then.
French. Millie's French and League's Irish. It would not work. Their nationalities could not be together. They would hate each other's guts. That's why pairings cannot work.
Lewis,
they
the
are wrong
nationalist.
nationalities. French and Irish do not go. Because, like,
You don't mix, you put them in separate mixing bowls.
it's like trying to mix. It's like trying to mix. I don't know. I'll stop. Yeah.
I was going to say, how long could Lewis go with that for?
Mix Mars bars with like.
There you go.
orange.
Yeah. Shut up!
Dan, just put a giant James whistle over all that.
Do you think Ark will bring back any classic character in season 17 plus?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I hope so, but if it doesn't happen, I just hope that the characters they do introduce are good ones.
I can
I'd
see
like
like
if they brought back Duncan.
I can see or like possibly Oliver, someone like that.
I think Harvey would be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, Harvey's really cool. Do you have a favourite theme from Tamas at all? It's sort of quite good in a way.
That's a good one. I don't know. Even though it's not classic O'Donnell and Campbell, I would have to say that the themes from... Oh, it was such a bad theme, and it's such a blatant ripoff of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, the
It's so blatant, but it always gets stuck in my head. Along with the theme from Gordon and the Engineer. I don't know why. It just always gets stuck in my head.
I
Really?
quite
I
like.
thought you were going to talk about the intro
Season
for
3 and
Misty
4.
Island Rescue. That was a blatant rip-off of Pirates.
Oh, it is blatant, but it gets stuck in my head all the time. That's one of the two, you know.
I quite like the Scarlet Railway theme. That's quite a nice one.
Thomas's theme from Thomas and the Trucks. Hands down. Very good.
Is Andrew Brenner better than Sharon Miller?
Dan, you didn't answer the question.
In
What's your
what
favourite
way?
Oh,
Thomas
shit.
music?
Oh, what's my favourite? Do I have a favourite theme? No, I quite like it all. There are quite a lot of themes I like. Yeah. I quite like lots of Hartshaw's newer, more orchestral type music.
Dan likes Kestrels.
Shut up.
Dan likes birds.
Why don't short women like to be? Short women don't like to be insulted. Let's just say a little bird told me.
Oh,
Witch.
you could be the next Charlie, Dan.
Charlie makes sexist remarks across the island of Sodor.
Daniel, the playful purple engine.
Purple's the colour of sexual frustration as well.
The fact you know that worries me a little.
I didn't,
little bit,
I didn't.
right, yeah.
I didn't internet this. I didn't search.
I
it. A
didn't
friend told
internet
me.
this. Really?
Shut up. A friend told me this.
Liar.
I'm not lying.
You
Because
liar.
He painted his room purple.
I'm sure. And then he told you that.
No, he told me
He
before
locked
he
the
painted
door.
it. No, he painted it before he painted it. No, he told me before he
He
painted
painted it before he painted it.
Christ.
Poking all sorts of holes in your story here, Lewis.
Shut up.
The floor
I
here.
did not internet this.
So it was what day at what time? I'm going to ask you again in 5 minutes and quiz you.
Is Andrew Brenner better than Sharon?
I know it was in a science lesson I was told this.
Is Andrew Brenner
Is he
It
better? Is
depends
he
in
better
what
than her
way.
for the show? Sure.
he's-
Is he a better driver? Who knows?
Yeah, I was going to say that's
He's
a very
better. He's
general.
better at being a man than her. I think
Yeah. Let him have that one.
he's better at being Andrew Brenner than her as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Andrew Brenner's
He
only
might be better at
written
making
story
sandwiches
so
as well.
far. Let's ignore that question. The next one.
Sharon
For
Miller's
ev-
probably better at making
Astrid
children
Diesel.
than
Astrid
Andrew
Diesel.
Brenner. Probably.
Question for everyone. What is your favourite Thomas merchandise brand? I.e. Ertl or Tomy?
I don't know. I don't play with toys anymore.
Is Sodor Island 3D considered a brand? I would say trains.
Yeah, I'd go for that one. Yeah,
I'd say trains.
yeah. I'm quite fond of what Sean makes
Yeah.
and the shit.
I'd echo
like
that.
But in terms of physical I'd probably say Erdl. They're good.
Yeah, I grew up with those. I mean, there'll always be a special spot in my heart for those.
Yeah, I'd say Erdl as well, because they're like the only thing I've got left.
In the world.
Yeah, literally.
Who said a single tear running down his eye?
I'm sat in an internet cafe on this computer. It's not mine.
Just surrounded by hurtles. That's all the other computers.
And other people just giving me really... There's other people across the cafe just giving me really bad looks. Just like, what's wrong with him? But no one says anything because they feel bad. I just keep like waving to them, smiling, awkward eye contact, and they just like slowly
see how
stare
long
at
this
their
can
soup.
go on for.
They just stare at their soup
Shut up,
awkwardly and
Lewis.
stare at it with a spoon.
Backman, what is your most favourite railway series? We've answered this before. Your most favourite railway series book? Mainline engines.
Mountain
Engines. Yeah, mountain engines. Lewis?
Mine would be Thomas's Great Railway Show, because I always loved York, and the fact that Thomas went to York was just brilliant in my opinion. I love that because I could relate it to a place I'd been, and it's like, oh, it's real.
Thomas has been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I could imagine it, sort of thing. It was easy to imagine.
I don't have an answer for this one, because I like them all so much.
Eric doesn't read.
Also that. No, but I've read them all. I've definitely.
It's hard to read when he's drunk. It's easier to watch the TV.
It's true. It's true.
Jake, what was your first reactions to Minecraft?
It was nice, I guess. My reaction? Yay, a video game that I don't know.
And I feel like I cut you off a bit there, Eric, because you went,
No. I was gonna say, like, there are certain key events from books of stories I wish had always come to fruition, but no particularly favorite book. But that was the last question. that was a million years ago.
For all, what is your opinion about the increase in story time that came with the premiere of Season 8? Go through this in order. Eric.
Repeat that question? I'm looking for it on the list. Where is that on the list?
I'll copy it and paste it here.
Thank you.
What is your opinion about the increase in story time that came about with the premiere of Season 8?
I mean, I'm not against it. I think if you need 8 minutes to tell a story, then fine. I think if it's inflated, that sucks, but at least you don't feel like you have to cut things down to make it within 5 minutes. It's only 3 minutes extra. You know, it's not a huge amount of time. And it's better than having those stupid interstitials. Those, like, awful, crappy maze things.
Diesel has to pick up a crate full of bananas. Terrible.
Can you help him find the banana factory?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, yes. Done.
My favourite one must have
Those
been
aren't bananas.
It was something like Toby has to take workmen to repair the bridge. Toby's under the bridge. How can Toby get on top of the bridge? He reverses, takes a junction, and then he's on top of the bridge. Well done, Toby. Ling, 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 ling. No, nobody learns anything from this. No.
Lewis?
What? I'm totally not in a world of my own talking
the new 8-minute increments of the episodes, what do you think?
I think, yeah, it's not too bad. It's like, it allows for more of a story sort of thing. You can, like, get a bit more in, although, like, I don't know if they necessarily use that particularly well recently, but, like, I suppose it's starting to improve season 17, but yeah, it's not bad. But it's like, it's just, it could probably get boring for some people.
Okay. Jake?
I think that the extra 3 minutes help when there's a good story to tell. If, like Eric was saying, if it's all
completely
filler
subjective.
or it's just pointless dialogue that really doesn't have anything to do, it doesn't work. I like seeing it more in Series 17 when the stories are they actually take that long to tell instead of feeling like this could have been summarized or, this episode doesn't need to be this long. I felt like it's useful when you've got a longer story to tell and you can fill that time appropriately.
Yeah, and I think with the show the way it is now, with these great little moments you have between the characters, I think that you the extra 3 minutes allows for more of that, as opposed to having to rush a story along.
Right. If you guys get... we've talked... What do you think about Duck's return, blah, blah, blah? What do you feel about the extra detailing to him? Like the rivets on the buffer beam and cab, for instance.
I honestly had not noticed.
On
Any
which
more for
character?
him? Duck. Okay.
I had noticed. It's nice to see. And maybe not only Duck, but as well, I noticed a lot of the Skarloey engines have gotten a little more detailing. Skarloey, I think, has some nice sort of pipes and sort of more engine-y looking things. We'll be as specific as we can.
Yeah, I think they all really translated well into the show. I don't think that and the animators and the guys who built the models, they did a really good job trying to recreate everything. Like even the pieces under the bottom between the wheels, that it looks like its counterpart.
Yeah, Scruff, I guess in particular, he's such a boring model, but just adding the motion underneath, his connecting rods, I should say.
Yeah.
It really brings. It puts a point of interest on a very sort of bland model, but yeah, it's a nice touch and something we definitely would have seen, or rather would not have seen in the model era. Something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Which character's theme from the first season is your favourite?
Probably Edwards.
I
There's something
think
so nice about it.
I think there's something very, very. It's quite powerful about Gordon's theme.
Yeah.
It's got real pace and
They're
energy.
all so... they all have such their own identity, which is great. And it's so hard to be like, oh, I like this one because of this character.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's sort of what's missing now with the show is having a character with its own theme help you connect with that character, because you'd think of that theme and you'd think of that character. And I think that's sort of lost now, but when we had it, it's
more instead of themes for characters, they're doing themes for an episode.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it's like a motif for the episode.
Yeah. I'd probably say Gordon's or any variation of James's theme would do.
So, Lewis,
Yes.
which character's theme from the first season is your favourite?
I don't know. I've just seen a funny comment from Sean. This isn't helping. I don't know. Percy's, just because it'll move the show on. Probably, yeah, Percy. I like the flute in that.
Okay, good. Final 3 questions. We'll go with which of one of your videos that you make that you're very proud of? I am, and probably always will be, ridiculously proud of Tetley.
Well, you should, man. That's a very good one.
I would say, I don't know, even though it was so immature and it was so stupid, back when I did the yard,
Oh god, yeah.
those yard things from in 2003, I mean, those were fun, but it's not something I'm proud of at all, but it still sort of started things off, I think, for people with redubs, so I'm proud of its position, but as far as trains videos, I like them all.
Jake?
I think I quite liked, or rather, I'm fond of my Steamroller instrumental, because I think that I got the crash pretty right, and just, a lot of my old stuff really, because Fraps for some reason on my very old PC wasn't working properly, so I had to do everything with screenshots and not, that was so time consuming, and I'm really proud that I stuck with it, and for the crappy quote unquote frame rate that most of my Mario Paint themes have, assembling all of those shots and making it look as it did, I thought I did pretty good.
Okay. There we go. Blimey, we've been at this for nearly 2 hours.
I know, it's crazy.
Best Sudrian
I
radio
thought Aaron was going to say creepy.
Two more questions. Come on, Dan.
Right, Lewis.
Plow through them.
Yes.
Proudest video.
I can't really answer that because I deleted all of my
Fine.
YouTube.
Classic theme song that you like on Thomas season 1 to 3.
Haven't we done this?
I don't know.
I don't know. One of
Who
them.
cares is the question.
One of them. One of
Good.
them.
Fine. Thomas's series 3 theme. Fine. This is one that I actually meant to bring up at the start but forgot about. How do you all like the new new art I gave you guys on Facebook? Yeah, we have fan art and probably slash fiction somewhere in the more sordid areas of the internet. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very nice of you. We appreciate that.
Yay!
It did actually make me smile at the end of a very dull day. Not a bad day, just a dull one. So yes.
You didn't have to do that, but that was very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah. Jake also liked being in the middle and centre stage.
It
brought his hopes of.
That's all right.
No, it brought his hopes up after being totally ignored when asked.
I'm in the middle. This is astounding. Yeah.
This is pleasant. It brought his hopes up after not being asked who his favourite character in Thomas was.
Because nobody
Yes. And talking of nobody caring, I think we should end here. Because
that sounds good.
we've run out of questions. I really want to end it.
Kill yourself.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Lewis and Eric, for coming on.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You've been brilliant guests and you've talked, which is nice.
So as always, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for another exciting, thrilling episode of Sudrian Radio, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye!
Goodbye.